Okay, welcome to another episode of The Real Samantha. In today's video, I want to discuss a little bit about my background and the reason why I decided to do YouTube. And I just want to give you guys a little bit of a chance to get to know me. I feel that right now, having 5 videos into YouTube right now, that I didn't really do myself any justice by not introducing myself properly. So today, I want to kind of let you guys into my life and, the reason why I decided to do YouTube, right? So, first of all, my name is Samantha, aka the show is called The Real Samantha. So, I also have 2 kids. I have a 5-year-old and I have a 15-year-old. I am also married, so guys, please, stop, okay? Also, I have a bachelor's degree in business. My degree is in business management. And also, I basically am a retail manager. And a lot of my videos, as you know, I've been kind of trying to tailor it to the teenage group. And the reason for that, as you see, as you're going to see throughout my videos and things like that, you're going to be able to understand why I decided to tailor it to those particular age group. Also, if you haven't heard of me, or this is your first time hearing about me, I also had a public access show, which was called Sammy the Show, for 5 years. At a couple of years back. I've been on television before, so if you saw my face before, you shouldn't be surprised. But I also had a public access show, right? So 3 years ago, a couple of years ago, right? I can't remember exact date, dating back, but basically when I was a little bit younger, I had a show. So the other part of this video, basically, like I said, I'm going to talk a little bit about my history and then also the reason why I decided to do YouTube. So I want to talk about the reason why I decided to go into doing YouTube for a number of reasons. Basically, as I said before, I did a public access show before, which is called Sammy the Show, years ago. But at the time that I did the show, I remember I didn't take it serious. I did public access television because it was also like a hobby and things to keep me out of the house. It was something positive I decided to get into because, I was going to school full time. I wasn't quite working at the time, but I was trying to figure out which direction I wanted to go into. And a couple of friends of mine who did modeling or was doing modeling had introduced me to this guy, whatever. He had basically a television show. So he's the one that said, well, Samantha, why don't you try this? And see if you like it, something like that. And that way you can kind of figure out if you want to go into broadcasting, right? Basically, you start there and kind of get the knowledge and everything like that, and then apply to, like CBS, NBC, that kind of thing. At the location of the studio was basically not too far from those particular studios, the NBC, ABC, all those television broadcast stations that you see on the television now. Basically, it wasn't too far from those locations. So it kind of made sense to like, okay, let me try this out. So in doing public access for a while, I had gained, sort of like a little bit of popularity in my local neighborhood. At the same time, I was doing a lot of fashion shows and things like that. So sometimes people would recognize me on the street and things like that. So it kind of made you feel good. But at the same time, I still was at the age where I wasn't sure if that's what I wanted to pursue, So to go hand in hand with that, I had started to get into my own style, my own way of matching things and stuff like that. So it made me kind of tailor my focus into get into retail. So there was a particular company that I wanted to work for because it was well known. It was high scale and things like that, and I wanted that on my resume. I knew I wanted to build my resume starting off to with a strong company, if that made sense. So what I did was after graduating high school. I pursued that particular company, right? So while I was in high school, I did public access and things like that. So a couple of years ago, I don't want to tell my age, but so I decided to pursue that company because that's something I wanted on my resume, right? So after I want to say like 4 tries, because I got turned down because I didn't have experience. I kept going back and they were saying, no, you need to have experience. Blah. So and you're gonna see, if you have saw some of my videos prior to this one, you'll see me talk about the fact that, it's good to hire people who don't have experience sometime because you can develop them. You can shape them into basically the worker or the person that you want them to to be at your company and things like that. And you'd be surprised by some of the skills that they can bring, and you'd be surprised at what you can do for that person as well. When I got into retail in the beginning, I was very shy. I didn't like to talk too much. Basically I was kind of like you say introvert, that kind of thing. Was it extrovert? Somebody tell me. But so it kind of broke me out of my shell, like, being shy and things like that. Also, it helped me develop my style. Working in retail, you develop this kind of way of matching. You see how things are put together, colors, and you see like the different events that people come in looking for an outfit and things like that. So you get a chance to kind of style them. So I started off as basically as a clientele specialist, what they call it, AKA stylist. So in doing that, I was so happy because I'm like, okay, I'm making people happy. My check is getting bigger because my sales were growing and everything like that for the company. So I'll get a percentage of whatever basically the store had made. So I started building my clientele, things like that. And then I also had my public access show too. So I would introduce my show to people who I would help develop outfits for. So it kind of linked up together. Building outfits at work, and then at the same time, on my spare time, my hobby was doing television. So I would kind of marry those two together and build clients and, talk about my experiences and things like that. But again, I never saw it as a career path, if that makes sense. I wish I would have stayed in my hobby, to be honest with you. I think I'd kind of be rich now, okay? But anyway, so that's basically how I got it to where I'm at right now, which is, working in retail, that kind of thing. I still to this day like to develop people. I still to this day like to dress people. I still like to give advice. I still like to give tips and things like that. So basically all these things that I've learned along the way, I still am able to do to this day some of those things. And I really enjoy and like them, And so I didn't never want to lose that, So even though I've thought through over the years that maybe I want to try something different, I still seem to fall back to that, in terms of, helping people and things like that. So when I decided to do YouTube, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. When I decided to do YouTube, I wanted to bring to you guys, which I think is a bigger audience, some of those same things, the tips, relationship advice and things like that, how to support your mate, tips on, interviewing, your resume, what to do after you get the job, how to build your clients, how to build relationships on your job. Anything that you can think of, like in terms of management, I want to bring to you guys, especially in particular the teenage group. And the reason why I say that this particular group that I want to focus on is because as a teenager myself, I grew up in a big family, and people got this perception that when you grow up with a big family, I have six sisters. I have five brothers and six sisters. One of my brothers passed away last 2019. And, it was a very sad moment and things like that. But at the same time, I grew up in a big family. And so I tend to have lost myself in terms of, I didn't really know, how to dress and things like that. And people thought that because I was in a big family, I should be, this or that. I shouldn't have to seek friends and things like that. I was very lonely in a big family, And I know it sounds crazy because it's like, oh, you got these brothers and sisters. But, I didn't have nobody to tell me about deodorant, how to dress for an interview, how to build a resume, how to, build self-esteem. Like nobody, I didn't have nobody over to do my hair. A lot of times my sisters didn't want to do my hair and things like that. So I had to learn all these things on my own, and which I'm proud about. At the same time, it's a little bit sad, yes, but don't cry for me, Argentina. Okay, I'm just fine. I grew up fine. But at the same time, I want to reach those teenagers who went through those things. So that's the reason why I decided to do YouTube, because if I can get build an audience in that area, I just feel as though I have a lot more to offer them, There's a lot of teenagers and things that's out there these days that don't have support, that don't have nobody, to guide them the right way, don't have nobody looking over their careers or direction or to guide them, being a coach to them, being a cheerleader to them, saying, yo, you can do this, you got it, There's a lot of teenagers out there that don't have good parents. A lot of us didn't grow up with good parents, or parents who didn't make such great decisions and everything like that. for themselves, so therefore they cannot guide you, you know? So I kind of want to be that person for those kind of people, if that makes sense, right? So also, if I have, any other people who like to watch the video and things like that, and they feel like they can gain something from my videos, that's fine with me too. That's even better because, again, I'm not only targeting that particular audience, but it's just that's my main focus, okay? So I don't want you to look at the video and say, oh, she's only talking to, oh, I know that already, or this or that, I want you to look at it to say, you know what? I do know that, but I didn't know that. Maybe I could take that tip and do something else with it. If you can do that, then that's fine. We all win. The whole thing is just to give support to people out there who do not have support, and that's why I decided to do YouTube. Okay. So again, I want to be that big sister, that cheerleader, that coach, that, that person, that teacher that says, oh, you got it. You can do this, That's the person I want to be. So I decided to do YouTube, like I said, because I feel like I have a lot of knowledge to bring to those particular the people in those age group. Guy, girl, I want to say from 13 all the way up until adulthood. Okay. So you're gonna see that going forward, a lot of my videos are gonna, like I said, my next video, I wish that you guys would watch. Is gonna be called, getting ready for the interview. I'm going to go more in detail, more in depth about, what to do, how to prepare yourself, not only mentally, but spiritually, and also like what to do in those interviews where you feel like you got stuck, and also in the video in terms of introducing yourself and things like that. When you go for the interview, is also to how to prepare yourself mentally, right? Sometimes when we get these jobs and things like that, we get excited about getting the job, right? Or there's steps even before getting the job that you feel like, damn, is my resume good enough? Am I good enough? Am I ready? Am I, so any of these questions that you have made, you may have in your head, I want you to refer back to the video, to one of my videos and say, oh, wow, I got this because guess what? Samantha gave me the knowledge. Samantha gave me that boost. That whatever it is to get you to the next level, okay? So we're trying to get people to the next level on this show, okay? I'm also going to talk about things like building your bank account while you're at work, what kind of investments you need to make while you're at work, kind of programs like basic programs a lot of the companies have that you might not know about. How to invest your money, how to open up a bank account, what you're going to need for a bank account. How to just I want to break those kind of those questions, that wall down that you think you may have that that you might not even have. We build a lot of times that we are going for a goal or something like that, or that we see that we want something so bad that we lose sight of, am I good enough? You are good enough. If you feel like you want to go for something, you could do it, right? So I want us to stay positive. I want us to learn from each other because, each one teach one. And I do feel like I have a lot to offer you guys. Like I said, I'm new to YouTube, so I appreciate everyone who watched my video and gain some knowledge, or if you feel like it's important to you, continue watching, and believe me, you're going to be happy that you do, And so if you see me anywhere, of course, you can always say hi. You can take a picture. And if you got a question, feel free to reach out to me, okay? I'll see you guys soon, and watch out for that next video.